This is my third take. The first one I messed up. The second one I was about 30 seconds away from being done, and I got a call from my mom. So, if you didn't see my review of the first one yesterday, I said that I liked it enough that it was making me more excited for this second one, and I think that I don't know if that helped or not, but I definitely think seeing the first one again, regardless of what I thought, helped, because then I could get an idea of like the stuff. And they both ended the same way, with something that, like, the first one ended like that they were, you know, gonna be going into this thing, and they didn't show them going into this thing, so I honestly thought that's what the second one was going to be about, but it wasn't. And then the second one ended the same way, where they were going to be going into this same kind of thing, and it that's if they make a third one, which I don't think they will, because this one was kind of a ending, it would not probably go into that thing. So I don't know why they end them like that, but I guess I don't know. But anyways, so I rented it at Redbox. I don't want this to be too long, because the first one I messed up less than a minute, like 47 seconds maybe, and the second one was going to be about a 5-minute review, and I'm just going to keep this short. So the first one I really liked. I thought that it was pretty much everything was superb, except it was really only funny in the first act. But it was so funny in the first act that I didn't care, and the rest was all a good movie, and I cared about the characters, and like what was happening and stuff. This one, not very funny. There's a couple jokes here and there. I guess it's nice that that those jokes are more evenly spread out, but there's less. There's a couple times where they're trying, and it doesn't really work for me. Not that I don't find it funny, it's just that the way it was delivered didn't work. Or maybe I just didn't feel like laughing out loud, because I wasn't really that entertained, because I was kind of bored during this. Not really bored, but just like disappointed, and I didn't want to watch more, because I was like, man, the first one's so good. Man, this one's not as good as the first one. So yeah, it's not as funny. It's got a different director. I thought the direction in the first one was so good. So the first one was written by Jay Baruchel and Evan Goldberg. This one is written by Jay Baruchel and some guy that's only written this, so I'd say just written by Jay Baruchel. And then it was directed by Michael Dowse in the first one. Now Jay Baruchel is directing this one, so it's his movie that he wrote and directed. I mean, this is his first time. He did like one episode of like Trailer Park Boys, but this is his first movie. It's a good time. It's a good first movie. It just isn't good. Like, he could have done better, but he could have done worse. And I think I think he might get more. I don't know. It's not like I wanted to. I thought he did okay. He kind of really understood the first movie, so I mean, this felt almost like, it felt enough like the first movie. A compliment that I really have, though, is that this isn't a bunch of callbacks to the first one. I mean, it's like, it was supposed to come out 5 years later, but then it ended up coming out 6 years later. It could have easily just been a bunch of callbacks, because that's long enough that it would just be callbacks for fans, but it's not. There's only one callback that I can remember, and it was at the end, and it was deserved, and it worked, and it was perfect, and it was a pretty good laugh. Yeah, it was a really good laugh. It was really good. But yeah, so I didn't think it was as well directed. I didn't think it was as well written. They added a bunch of new cast, and they're all great actors. It's a great addition to the cast. Like, I think 4 of these people, they were wasted. And honestly, Sean William Scott was wasted. And, yeah, so I didn't think it was as well directed. I didn't think it was as well written. I didn't think it was as funny. I didn't think the performances were as good. I just didn't think it was as good. But I don't think a lot of people will like this, and that's evidenced by the Rotten Tomatoes critics and user scores, and the IMDb user score and Metascore. But for me, I could see myself watching this again, especially if I wanted to watch the first one. I'd just watch the second one then after it. I could see myself buying this, because I'd buy the first one and buy the second one, because it's not that bad. And just overall, I enjoyed it enough that I'd give it a 6 out of 10. I was almost going to give it a 5, but I just I think it could get better with each viewing, though. That's the other thing. And also with Jay Baruchel directing, we didn't get to see him as much in the movie, and he was one of my favorite parts in the first movie. I mean, he was like he just, and then the way him and Sean William Scott bounced off each other, like this guy is a perfectly normal dude, and then Sean William Scott's a little more dull. It was a friendship that you couldn't really like believe, almost like you would think that Jay would have been bullying Sean, their characters, but they were friends. And I loved that dynamic. And even though we didn't get a lot of it after the first act in the last one, at least there was a whole first act where we got them together. I think that was a little bit of a mistake. He might not have been able to do as good of a job with the movie if he had been in it more, but I just wish that we could have seen him more. Yeah, so overall, I mean, the only thing that really matters, especially with a sequel, is if it's at least still funny. I mean, I guess if it's funny, you can forgive anything else, but it's not funny. There's sometimes that it tries that I didn't think it worked, but yeah, so overall, it's not as good as the first, but if you're a huge fan of the first, like I am, I think you'll at least enjoy this enough to think that it's just barely fresh, like good. But if you didn't love the first one, like if you just barely got it fresh or you didn't like it at all, then don't even waste your time checking this out. Yeah. Okay, this isn't probably that good. You know, it's still pretty long, even though I said I wanted it to be short, but I had so much to say, and I kind of got less angry about the last one being interrupted a couple minutes in, if you didn't notice. But, like, it's just always annoying when you're like, I was at, like, 4:37 or something, and then I get a call. And it just was... Anyways, so sorry that this is so long, but thanks for watching, guys. Press that like button if you liked the video. Press that subscribe button if you liked me. Comment below. Have you seen this? If you have, what'd you think about it? Have you seen the first one? If you have, what'd you think about it? I also just remembered that I forgot to look up whether or not the first two came out in theaters at all. I didn't get this one in theaters, and it was my last anticipated movie of the year. So I'm also really sad that I missed this by a couple days of renting it. Maybe a week. But yeah. So I don't know if those came out in theaters or not, but I have a feeling, I don't know. But I'm just gonna end it right here. I just remembered while I was saying thanks for watching that I forgot to do that when I said I was going to in this review, in the last review. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna end it right here. Once again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.